The fuck? Like, what the hell?
Oh, we're not done.
Yeah, I know.
So this is part 2 of the troubled teen industry. Pretty sure DJ never wants me to do a deep dive again after this.
No. Never again.
This is just a disclaimer. Once again, we are going to talk about child family, parental, and child. So
And again,
if you don't want to hear any,
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and if either one of us laughs, it's a coping mechanism, and we do not find any of this funny. Please know if you or anyone you know is struggling, there are people out there that care. There are programs out there that are not these. Please do not go to one of these.
Yeah, never one of these.
There are people that you can call. There's so many resources out there for you if you need it. I will be linking some of those in the description below. And to those who have gone through this, I am so deeply sorry, and you are so strong. So let's get into, I guess technically episode 12, but like episode 11 part 2, really. So music, yay!
Yeah.
Okay. So now we got to talk about the documentary that kind of, made me do this deep dive. So this specific documentary or docu-series was about Ivy Ridge Academy. Ivy Ridge Academy was located in Upper New York state, I want to say. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. This school was for both males and females. It was a school, quote unquote. And you will see why I say that at the end. And they incorporated a lot of the LGATs into their system. And with the seminars. Seminars are going to play a big role into this this place, and actually play a lot into a lot of the common of today's programs. So this was for anyone ages 12 to 17. The program. Back to the program. So this is for anyone ages 12 to 17.
Yeah.
And, they also took something from Steve with this program. And with most programs from...
Why is everything linking back to him?
It's linking back to everyone before this. The LGAT, the cult.
Yeah.
Steve.
Okay.
So,
fuck.
Kept a little, kept something from Steve.
Wait, what happened to Horsehair?
Horsehair's still alive. Steve did pass away of a heart attack. He was fighting cancer when he passed away.
She was fighting something else. Sorry, continue on. Sorry, I can't wish anything upon anybody. I'm sorry for saying that.
And then, so Steve passed away from a heart attack while he was battling cancer. And Horsehair, actually, when the documentary came out last year, was still alive. So I'm going to restart my spiel about Ivy Ridge. Just because
Yeah.
So let me actually look up. Okay, so Ivy Ridge Academy was in Odensburg, New York. It was a for-profit for behavior modification. It was established in 2001 and shut down in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
It was for anyone, male or female, ages 12 to 17. And as I stated, they kept something from Steve in his days of doing his programs. They kept the kidnapping.
What is up with the kidnapping? Why
sorry,
every aspect to keep? Why the kidnapping? What the fuck is with that? I'm sorry.
So
That needs to be addressed. Why?
So let me set the scene for you, okay?
Yep.
You've stayed up all night, video games, texting, whatever. You finally fall asleep. Yeah. You finally fall asleep. Sleeping in your little bed. If you're like me, you had it pressed against the wall. Some had it in the middle of their room. It's your childhood room, and you're sound asleep, and you have school the next day. And next thing you know, you have two grown men grabbing you forcefully out of your bed and telling you if you struggle, they have handcuffs and they're not afraid to use them. You are being dragged out of your room, kicking and screaming, and you're crying, begging for your parents to come and help you, for anyone to come and help you. As you are being dragged through your living room, you look over with tears in your eyes and you see your parents standing there. And you're begging them, what is happening? Help me. Why aren't you doing anything? And they're just standing there as you are dragged out of your house and thrown into a car.
Yeah, no, I'd resent my family for the rest of my life if that happened to me. Literally, the entire family, if that ever happened to me. Like, because that's insane.
So,
My sisters, if they allowed that shit to happen, if my brother-in-law allowed that shit to happen, if my mother allowed that shit to happen.
So that happened to Paris Hilton. Her parents stood by their bedroom. Her parents stood by their bedroom door, were crying while she was being dragged away. And her sister heard it and didn't come out. They all woke up the next morning and went to breakfast, and she wasn't there, and nobody asked questions. She, from her documentary that came out in 2000, like 2020, 2021, she, as of that point, was still having nightmares about it. She went to these programs in the 90s.
I have a newfound respect for her now.
Yeah.
Still haven't watched her series, but
so her team, fun little fact. What was her show again? The Silent Life
with her husband or something, like Paris is Engaged or
Oh
something.
no, not that. I meant like her early 2000s show.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
That
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know.
That everybody laughed at because she was like, "Oh, I don't know what a mop is." Yeah. She had already gone to these programs.
Yeah.
So she knew, but she was putting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we'll get more into Paris later. We'll get into Paris more later. But back to Ivy Ridge Academy. Mm-hmm. So you were kidnapped in the middle of the night. Or you were taken by your parents, or you were taken in the middle of the day. It didn't have to be the middle of the night.
It better be while I'm asleep because I will be fighting people. That's your only chance, motherfuckers. I will be fucking killing
I'm
motherfuckers. I don't
sorry.
care.
It's the voice going deeper, and you're just like, I'll fuck you up.
I will fucking find you, and I will.
Um, so Ivy Ridge Academy was kind of a family-run business, but it wasn't just Ivy Ridge. It was a whole plethora of them. What were they called? The Worldwide Association of Specialty Programs in School.
What? What? Okay.
WASP.
Okay.
So these were founded by Robert Litchfield. He was one of 12. He then proceeded to hire his brother as the director, and then his like nieces and his nephews were hired as transporters.
As kidnappers? That's crazy. You literally hired your niece and nephews as kidnappers? Holy shit. You said, you know what? I'm gonna make you do some legal shit, right? Somehow.
It was said at one point that his so he also hired like his brother-in-law at one point to run one of the academies. His sister at one point asked, why do we need so many bank accounts? And he told her basically to shut up. And he was quoted saying by her in an affidavit to stating, you know, the three monkeys, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That was his explanation. So he had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 academies. Out of these 26 academies, only one is still open that he originally opened.
Why is there one still open?
Okay.
Are we still kidnapping today? What? We're legally kidnapping still today?
We'll get into today's things, you know, once we're done with Ivy Ridge and their sister academies.
Okay.
Are you okay?
No, this is wild to me. That's crazy.
So these range from the US to Costa Rica to the Czech Republic to Samoa to Jamaica. Yeah. So Ivy Ridge had over 100 rules that these kids had to follow. And there were different levels. So there were a total of 6 levels. Levels 1 through 3 were considered the lower levels, and 4 through 6 were the upper levels. When you first went to the academy, you were assigned a buddy that would help you navigate. You had 3 days to learn all 100 rules. For the lower levels, here's some of the rules that they had. They couldn't talk. They couldn't look outside a window. They couldn't make eye contact. They couldn't touch anyone. They must pivot around every single corner and keep a military line. They couldn't have any makeup. They couldn't shave. They couldn't look in the mirror. And they must keep the stall door open while using the bathroom so that the staff member could watch them. They must keep their hair in a braid. They cannot fart or burp without permission, and they cannot smile.
You needed permission to fart or burp?
Yes.
You need permission to shit too? Like,
yes.
Dude, I have stomach issues. So to be like, can I go to the
You were
bathroom?
so for levels 4 to 6, you were allowed to talk, you were allowed to shave, you were allowed to wear makeup, you were allowed to look out a window, but you couldn't leave until you reached level 6. Now, here's the catch with the upper levels. cool, you got all of this stuff and you're able to be a human again.
Mhm.
To be able to move up in levels, you had to rat out your friends.
They were teaching you to be a snitch.
They were teaching you to never trust anyone. You were allowed to give people violations, and so yeah.
Like,
So
rat out about what though? Like, if they weren't following the rules,
yeah,
how do you get past level 1? You can't speak. So how are you supposed to rat them out? The fuck? Your
you don't.
system's flawed. No, yeah, exactly. See, you can't get past level
When
1.
you were level 1, that's not what you were doing.
How are you supposed to go up in level?
If you got out of line, so here's how it worked. Every day you got a set amount of points depending on which level you were.
Uh-huh.
You started off with 15 points.
Okay.
If for every rule mishap you had, you lost points. If you
Okay.
farted without permission, that was 5 points.
I was fucked. I would have been fucked.
So on top of that, you could be subjected to a strip search whenever.
Damn.
You were subjected to a strip search when you first entered the facility. And majority of the time, men would be doing the female strip searches of minors. They
That
also made,
should not be a thing.
they also made you cough and squat.
Why? First of all, what are you strip searching them for?
So the dorm mother,
You got kidnapped.
Sissy, said sometimes they could be hiding a cell phone up there or other contraband.
They were kidnapped. What do you mean? What are they gonna grab?
Sissy was a character. Her interview was something else. Sissy was excited when she was talking about strip searching minors.
You a fucking
Sissy
creep.
liked her job. Sissy took enjoyment in her job.
You
Um,
should be the first one in jail. Ever.
so yeah. Um,
Now. To this day. Why are you not in jail? You
um, so on top of all of these rules that were imposed upon them, there was zero communication between kids and their parents. No phone calls, no visitation. The only thing was that was communication between them was that they were allowed to send, well, not allowed, they were forced to send a letter once a week to their parents. Where, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Could you do it more than once?
no.
It's only the one time.
Yes.
Okay. The hell. And they probably read the letter before they sent it.
Yes, they did. They did.
So it's not like you can cry for help either.
Oh, that was a write up. You weren't allowed to manipulate your parents into trying to take you out of the program before you were ready.
Okay.
You couldn't tell them what was going on in the program.
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't allowed to say, like, I'm not allowed to talk. I'm not allowed to fart. Like, you weren't allowed to tell this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you had, like, you know, your family, basically a group that you were put in, of other people that came into the program around the same time as you and everything. And you basically had like your family leader, and it was the family leader's job to make the parents feel better about their kids being there and keep the kids in the program as long as they could.
Were the parents paying monthly?
The
Or was it a
parents were
one-time
paying
payment?
up to $6,000 a month. The parents would get a month free if they referred someone.
They get a month free if they refer somebody?
To the program, yeah.
Like, okay. All right. Yep. All right. I'm gonna not be surprised anymore.
Might be. So, if a particularly, like, difficult to break child came in, it became a game with the staff
Mm-hmm.
who could break that child first, crush their spirits. This was done through weeks of isolation. Um, this was done through losing all your points. Staff were encouraged to come up with unique and new ways of punishment to be able to break them. One girl had to carry a box full of papers for 2 weeks straight. She was not allowed to put it down at any point. The staff sent out an email saying, "Don't be worried if you see this student with bruises up and down their arm. It's a punishment for them carrying the box."
Okay. So I'm confused. Can they never put it down? Like they can't put it in their lap?
Nope. It has to be held like this the entire time
That's not possible.
for
What
2
happens if?
weeks.
Yeah. What happens if she drops it?
More time gets added on.
Hmm.
You know those old desks that we had where it was like the chair and the desk were connected to each
Yeah.
other? There was a guy whose punishment, because he also didn't want to do the program, he had to have an inch of his butt on that. And he had to sit feet on the ground, hands in between his legs, straight back, and stare at the wall for hours. And if a staff member came by and pointed to a brick on the wall and you couldn't tell them which brick they were pointing to, more time got added. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this brings us to the male side of things. So something that was especially done by the male, like the director on the male side of the building, were
Mm-hmm.
takedowns.
What?
He would tackle these children to the floor and pin them to the floor with his knee in their back. This is a trigger warning for extreme child abuse. In this docuseries, I watched a boy that could be no older than 13 be choke slammed into a wall and then lifted off the ground by his neck still and carried out of the room. And this is what they were doing on camera. They had a room that nobody wanted to go to because there were no cameras in that room. And that's where a lot of the men who went to this academy say that you were being thrown into walls. And I mean like thrown sideways into walls, and the ever living shit was beat out of you.
Okay. All right.
There are videos of this male director of the kids, there's this video and these kids are doing burpees. And it's just exercise. They're all doing it. There's no reason for what happens in this video. The kid is doing the exercise. Guess he wasn't doing it to his liking, or not fast enough, or I don't know what this poor man did. He tackled him into the side of the wall and took him down. In a span of 2 months, they found over 20 handwritten accounts of different takedowns that this director did.
You a grown ass man taking down kids, and you still feel good about yourself and about what you're doing.
So,
All right. Yep.
so it's always said that the staff can only be as good as its leader, right? All the time.
Yeah.
So, the director of Ivy Ridge Academy whenever a parent would email him and be like, "Oh, we're worried about our kid," he'd go, "All teachers are certified."
I'm sorry. What did you word? What? Certified?
Certified.
The hell is that?
All therapists are certified.
Certified?
Certified.
What the hell is certified?
I don't know. It's not a word.
The hell is certified?
These are the people that are running these programs. He then proceeded to hire his brother as the director for academics. These students were doing like homeschooling online, like in large computer rooms.
Yeah.
His brother said, and I quote, "Students aren't here to learn. They're here to work on themselves and their families."
But the families aren't there. How are they gonna work on their families? And then you won't even let them speak or be a human being. How? Okay.
So we talked about the guy side with the takedowns. Well, this is the warning about and on the girl's side, it was a known secret of a female staff member that would groom and assault different girls. It was so known that when she set her eyes on someone, everybody knew.
Wait. You. Okay. I
I thought
thought
you
I
were going
didn't
to get
hear you right the
surprised
first
anymore.
time
I
because I
thought you
heard
were
you
going to
say
get.
female staffer, and I was just like, maybe it's a male staff for the females. But then you said it again. Okay, so it's a female staffer this time grooming the girls.
And yes. Yes. Reports were never made, so she was never named in the documentary. But a lot of girls came forward. A lot of staff came forward and said, yes, we knew that this was happening.
You don't hear about that too often.
Yeah. Um,
What the fuck?
a lot of these kids were coerced into admitting things that they never did. When you come in, you have to take a pregnancy test and a drug test along with being strip searched. A lot of these kids were told that they were drug addicts, that they did drugs. And the only way to get out of here was to do the program. So then they started admitting to, you know, I smoked weed. I was drinking on weekends all the time. And then it increased to, you know, I was doing PCP, I was shooting heroin, like all of these different things, because it's really easy to get a teenager to admit to things that they never did. It's really easy. That's why you're not allowed to interview a teenager without a parent present.
Yeah. Because any adult they're gonna see as an authority figure.
Yep.
And be intimidated by them.
Yep. And if you're told the only way that you can get home is by admitting all of the drugs you did, but you know you didn't do any drugs, you're just going to be like, well, maybe eventually after like a few times of it being told, no, your drug test came back like a Christmas tree. You're going to start admitting to things that you never did, just trying to get out of there.
I'd just be like, show me that fucking drug test.
They wouldn't.
Yeah, I know.
I will say the one girl in this documentary that was called a crack whore. Yeah. I feel she found, so even after she got out of the program and she told her parents, like, I didn't do any of these drugs, they didn't believe her. She found her drug test and it was negative. And I am so fucking happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's going to clear anything up with her parents, but that gives her a peace of mind.
Honestly,
That is her proof of I wasn't lying.
if it doesn't clear anything up with her parents, fuck her parents at that point. Because, bitch, you had me go through all this dumb shit because
So,
you didn't believe me.
yeah, so the guy's side of the Academy of Ivy Ridge got fed up with Ivy Ridge. They wanted to leave. They were tired. They said, I want to go. But they're in Upper New York. We've both been to Upper New York. There's nothing there.
Mm-mm.
But woods, and they were near the Canadian border, and you know, they were like, well, maybe we can swim across, but they were always kind of told like you won't make it.
Yeah.
So the guy's side rioted to the max.
Hell yeah.
The
Kind of
girl
people.
they took down staff, and they like, you watch this documentary and you see the guys that were actually a part of it. You can actually, they have videotape of it and you can see some of them in it. And you see them talking about it and they have these huge grins on their face. They are so proud of what they did.
Yeah.
I would be too. Fuck that place.
Oh, yeah.
They pulled the fire alarm. They got, you know, police and everything there. They were arrested. And Ivy Ridge was allowed to stay open. You keep saying you're not going to get shocked, and then I keep talking, and you're just...
I'm just disgusted with our communities.
So they were arrested, and when it was time for them to go back to Ivy Ridge, they begged not to be let out of juvie.
Because it probably was a nicer facility.
They were allowed to blink. They were allowed to
fart
smile.
without permission.
Like, they were allowed to be people.
Yeah.
Like, prison isn't even as bad as these places. Anyways, girls were basically fear-mongered into, like, you know, not knowing what was happening over there and, like, not trusting the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, the sister schools in Costa Rica and Mexico were shut down for child abuse.
Fucking what a shock. What a fucking shock.
Um,
The hell? It should have been shut down a long time ago, but okay.
Ivy Ridge stayed open.
Please tell me it's not open anymore.
It's not. They closed down in 2009.
Okay. I do remember you saying
Yeah.
that, yeah. I
So
just know you said one was still open today.
the coaster. So you had Sunset Academy, which was the Mexico one, and then you had, I want to say it was the Mentor School for Costa Rica. Oh no, Casa by the Sea was Mexico. But you had Ivy Ridge. So I'm just gonna. So they shut down in March of 2009. In order to restructure, there were about 60 students still enrolled at the time, and they were to be sent home or transferred to similar boarding schools. In April of 2009, the campus was sold to Delaware Corporation, and a spokesperson for the Percher told news media that the school would not reopen. So they didn't close down because they were caught or anything. They just shut down.
Probably because they felt like they were gonna get caught soon.
Probably. So here's the funny thing about all of this. The reason why we have all of these videotapes and all of these documents and all of these files is because they left it all there.
Fucking idiots.
They left all of the files.
Dumbasses.
They left everything. And it's like a time capsule in there.
Yeah.
Everything was left. The seats that they had to sit on for their
It's an
punishment.
abandoned building, right?
Yes.
You wanna go and explore an abandoned building? I kind of want to.
We
I want
can.
to see what it was like. I want to see what it looked like.
But
Because I still haven't seen the documentaries. So
I mean, we can go up. I don't care. If we do, I have to stop in Boston with Lonnie, say hi to his family. Wait.
I gotta say hi to my family.
Never mind. Massachusetts is above New York.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm an idiot. Anyways, this goes back to episode 1.
Fucking doesn't know where Idaho is.
Oh.
Thought it was right next to Ohio.
Shut up.
Idaho
I'm not
is
going to say
Iowa.
anything else about the documentary, just because I think that you should go watch it if you haven't already. I will say that a senator did find out about these institutions and kind of made it his passion project. And there was a Congress investigation to this in 2008 of facilities like this where it was found out that kids were being forced to eat their own vomit. Kids were being forced into isolation. Kids were being withheld of food, of sleep. Kids were forced to clean toilets with toothbrushes,
Mm-hmm.
and then forced to brush their teeth with those toothbrushes.
Oh, that's trifling as shit. What the hell?
That was in 2008, and nothing came of that. So
The hell?
this kind of brings us into current day stuff. In 2019, Paris Hilton came out with a bunch of other survivors from the program that she was in. And they started being activists. Hold on, because I can actually tell you. Not husband. So she went to Provo Canyon in 1997. Um,
Mm.
and she gives out testimonies all the time. And then she has like a new memoir. She has the thing, Paris Hilton. So she's a big advocate for this. In her documentary, she actually talks about, you know, the program that she was in, and then she, what is it called? There is a specific organization that she once works with. I think it's called Break the Silence.
This is completely off topic. Wow, hold on. Off topic. But if we ever get a studio, I'm getting a really comfy chair. I just want you to know that.
Oh yeah, here it is. So it's called Breaking Code Silence.
Mm.
And so one of the girls that she actually went to this academy with is founded this. So it was founded in 2014. And then in 2021, it became a nonprofit organization, and it advocates and tries to get resources for these kids that are survived this, and advocates to get legislation passed against these institutions.
Mm.
It has become Paris Hilton's like passion project. She talks about how she's in her documentary, how she saw nightmares about this. She suffers from insomnia from it. She hadn't talked to her parents about it. And so you see her mom find out about some of these things in this documentary. A producer actually told her mom about Paris getting forced into solitary confinement. And you can see her mom process it on camera, and she goes, solitary confinement, like solitary confinement. Like she asks to like be like, you said the right thing, right? Like this is what you're
Mm.
saying. And so you see her mom and her have this really heartfelt thing where her mom basically goes, if me and your father had known that this is what this program was, we
Mm.
would have never sent you there. We would have come and get you immediately. And it's a thing where you hear it commonly with through survivors and everything that they God, they're fear mongered. They they would get out, or they would get like a visitation with their family, or they get be able to like leave the academy for like a little bit and be like unsupervised with their parents. They are so fear mongered into, if you talk bad about the program in any sort of way, we will find out and your sentence will be increased. On
Mm.
top of that, a lot of the time these parents are sent to these seminars that are very similar to LGATs, and it becomes a cult following.
Mm.
So the parents are being manipulated as well, while these kids are also going through these seminars, but just they're different, and they're meant to break you, to embarrass you,
Mm.
to take away like your sense of self, and it's fucked up, dude. Watching and hearing about this stuff is just, they're in a prison. I mean, it's
Yeah.
worse than a prison. They're being psychologically and physically tortured here. And it's a common thing that you hear throughout these documentaries and throughout these books and throughout survivor testimonies. The only way to get out is either your parents pull you out of like some like, I miss you or whatever, or you complete the program.
Yeah.
It's also said, like, between survivors is that like it takes like 5 years to kind of like realize, like, be able to even speak about it without re-traumatizing yourself, but anywhere from 10 to 20 years to like even process it. A lot of these people are older than us. They went to these things when they were like 15 and 16 in early 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It would have been like my sisters, my older sisters,
yeah.
basically.
You know what's even more fucked about specifically Ivy Ridge?
Hmm.
I feel so bad for these fucking kids. They didn't know until they started applying to colleges. Ivy Ridge, the diplomas that they were getting weren't real.
Wait, like high school diplomas and all that shit.
Yes,
They weren't.
they were not licensed as an actual school. So the diplomas
Well, I
that they
mean that's why they were able to hire whoever too.
were, not just that, they go to these low. So this is the MO for these types of schools. They go to rural, low income, unstable economies. They built these schools and they then become the biggest job provider there is.
Oh, in that area. So then,
They become the economy.
yeah, that's some wild ass shit. So then that whole entire town depends on them, basically.
Yep.
That's so fucked up. It's crazy how they're the ones claiming that all these kids are the manipulators, yet they have been manipulating everyone along the way.
You want to know what a common theme I saw with all of these kids was?
Hmm.
Either the system failed them in some sort of way and they were being abused and neglected at home, or they lost a parent or going through some other traumatic experience as a teenager and were rebelling as a way to be able to cope with it, as most teenagers do.
Yeah.
And instead of the parents taking the time to understand what was going on and have these conversations with their kids, they sent them to these places.
Hmm.
And all it takes is one person in your community sending their kids to one of these programs, and then they start spreading the word. They don't really have advertisements. It's word of mouth by other parents. Oh, my kid went here. They were like, it completely changed them. They're a new kid now. No fucking shit. No fucking shit.
Yeah.
I know something really fucked up.
That there's still one open.
Oh no, that's only Wasp, DJ. There are hundreds. This is $1 billion industry.
Why is it? Wait, so you're telling me there's even more still open right now to this day?
Yes, there are over 100. It's $1 billion industry. You know something even more fucked up?
Hmm.
They're targeting kids as young as 7.
So as young as 7 are getting all this abuse? Fuck no.
Wilderness camps,
No.
academies.
Fuck that.
What
That's.
the
Mm-mm.
the 8 passengers, those people, that family channel
Hmm.
that's like going through all their controversy. Well, not even controversy. She's fucking going to jail. They sent their son to a wilderness retreat. A lot of these are now protected under religion. The one that they sent their son to was specifically a Mormon one.
Hmm.
So, uh, another common thing with these kids is also, you know, after they get out of these programs, they form some sort of addiction afterwards. A
I
lot
mean,
have
I hope somehow.
suicidal thoughts and attempts. When you watch the program, or even hell camp, you'll hear about people and they go, even in Paris Hilton's, they'll go, oh, do you remember this person? And they go, I think they're dead.
I mean, with all that fucking traumatic experiences,
Yeah.
I'm not that surprised.
Yeah. Um, so, and 9 times out of 10, whenever some legal action gets brought against these organizations, the people that own them, that are in charge of them, people like Steve, people like Richard, they're not held accountable.
Mm-mm.
And they're able to go and open up new ones and create new things. And so there's, unless some sort of legislation gets passed about this,
Mm-hmm.
isn't going to stop.
Yeah.
And they don't vet these people. Like, you can do background checks on somebody and they could have no priors because they haven't been caught yet. These places like this are breeding grounds for pedophiles and people who like to abuse others.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that were being done to these children are considered war crimes. That's how horrible they are. So that was my deep dive this week. Like, nothing's happened. There are people fighting still to get this stuff to stop, but
Because there's still all of these things that are out there.
Yeah.
Dude, it's kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking children. Why are you guys doing all of this to these kids? Putting them through. You're like, I wonder where they're fucking, like, why do we need to put them in therapy? Why do you need to put them in therapy? Bitch. What do you mean?
What do you mean? A lot of these kids that went through these programs don't trust therapists.
Yeah.
They have trauma that is so deep because what they went through was supposed to be therapy. It was advertised as therapy.
But what they get is just even more fucking trauma.
They get psychologically abused. They get physically abused. They get sexually assaulted. Last year, a kid died because he threw bread at a staff member, and 3 grown men took him down and sat on the back of his chest for 12 full minutes.
You said 3 grown men?
3 grown men.
Where was this at?
It was, I don't remember where. To be honest with you, it was in the documentary towards the end of the program.
Mm-hmm.
Where they talk about how this is still a thing. And you see the video of him throwing the bread and staff taking him down, and the kids aren't fazed. This is such a common occurrence for these children that they watched 3 grown men tackle and take down a teenager, and not a single one of them flinched or even got up to try to help out of fear of retaliation of what would happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And he died. He was 16.
Why are the parents not doing like if you know it's like an academy or something, why are you not trying to tour the place first?
So parents they do. They have, this was talked about in Ivy Ridge. You had students that would take parents around touring them, and they were the upper levels that were so close to getting out that they could taste the freedom. It's Stockholm syndrome, essentially. You put on this giant smile. You take these parents. They had certain areas of the building that were very, very, very nice that the parents would go to and see. It's all about perception.
Yeah, but okay, if I'm sending my child away and I'm not allowed to come visit, I don't want to send my child there.
You're desperate. You're told if you come to
No,
visit, then
fuck
it's
that.
going to
I'm
cause
not
a
that desperate.
backslide for your child. Like these, you have to remember, these parents are also brainwashed during this process. And this is what I
Mhm.
did the deep dive. This is why I went so deep into this, because I couldn't understand why the parents were sending their kids here. And because it's advertised so specifically to their kid and what they think like will happen to their kid, they're being told, if you take your kid out of this program, they're gonna revert right back because they haven't completed it, and they're gonna end up dead or in jail. They're fear mongered as well, on top of them having to go to their own seminars, and they have like their like community group where they go and like it's a cult
Mhm.
almost. Like it's and you see this even in all of these programs of like students, like these kids talking to their parents years and years and years later, and the parents are like, I don't understand why you're still talking about this because you don't understand is why I'm still talking about this. Or the parents flat out say, I don't believe you. If it was really that bad, why didn't you tell me while it was happening? Why didn't you tell me when I came to visit?
Because I'm fucking. What do you mean? Like, bitch.
So yeah.
I I just I get, the whole manipulation thing. I get the whole entire like you're being coerced into doing that shit. But like at the end of the day, like you should still be looking out for your child. Like I realize it might be like the last resort type thing.
You're told by staff that your children are liars and manipulators and they're just trying to get out of here
Your
because
staff don't know your child. You know your child. That's the problem. Your staff knows nothing about you or your child. So you
whenever
shouldn't
so
be able to be
they
manipulated by somebody that doesn't know you.
they have like certain, they literally found at Ivy Ridge, they found the talking points
Mhm.
that staff were given whenever a parent started to, be like questioning and everything, to ease the parents back, to ease the parents' minds. So
That's
yeah,
just I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I would fuck that shit. I'm gonna send my child to public school. I don't care how rich I am. I don't care how much in need of help they are. My child can go to public school and then like if they really need like therapy or something, I'll send them to therapy, but not to a fucking school.
I'm gonna
And
be
also,
honest. When my kid starts middle school, I'm probably gonna put them in therapy once a month. Just have somebody that is not me or a friend to talk to.
the thing is, okay, so me, I've never had a good fucking therapist ever. But we
Yeah,
can talk that about that in a fucking the medical episode that we're
talk
gonna
about
do.
that next episode.
But like, I can get more into detail with all that. But like, I
I'm not
probably
disagreeing with you.
it's just the fact that like I I feel like those parents just aren't trying hard enough. Like, and I'm sure they are. I'm sure they try, but like,
It's it's weird um watching these, because you see a lot of the parents that regret what they did, and
yeah,
they feel so much remorse about it. And it's weird because I don't know. There are things that happened to me in my childhood between me and my mother
Mm-hmm.
that I haven't learned how to, one, talk to her about, and two, that I'm still working to this day to like get over and like move past. And so it's like I watch these documentaries and I see these people having these conversations with their parents, and you know, they're able to forgive their parents and they're moving past. And I I don't know if I could have forgiven my mom if she stood by while I was screaming and crying and begging her to help me as I am actively being dragged out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
That alone is so fucking traumatizing. And the parents that can't understand that, I I have a hard time
Mm-hmm.
with my thoughts on these parents because I don't understand how you could do this to your child. But at the same time, I went through and I watched everything and I see what was given to them. I see the propaganda that they were given. I see those things.
Yeah,
But I
I still
know.
haven't seen any of these. So,
And so that's where I struggle. But then I struggle even more with the parents that see the propaganda, see what their kids go through, and go, I should have left you there longer.
mm-hmm.
Here's what I feel. I feel because a lot of these were single parents. A lot of these had lost families, members. A lot of these were struggling. A lot of them were struggling in school. A lot of them were struggling mentally. A lot of them had already, before going to these academies, had attempted suicide. I stand in the thing of there are some parents who are just trying to do the best that they could for their children, and they fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And they recognize that they fucked up and they're trying every day to make it up to their kids. And they recognize that they put their kids through more trauma than they thought, that
Mm-hmm.
when they thought that they were helping them, and they didn't know what was going on in these programs. I feel for those parents. They're the parents who sent their kids for small fucking slip ups, and determined that they were going down a wrong path and immediately sent them to these places instead of
Mm-hmm.
trying to have any sort of conversation. And those people, I don't agree with. I debate your parenting skills, but I don't agree with them. It's whatever. And then there are the parents who sent their kids away, who know what happened at these academies and stand by their decisions. That I go,
Yeah.
you should have never fucking had kids.
Mm-hmm.
You should have never been allowed to reproduce. Or if you did, they should have been taken away from you immediately because you are a deplorable human being. And that's where I stand. Because I sit here and I still struggle to fully comprehend how you make this decision.
So I'm not saying I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're bad parents or anything like that because I'm not a parent, so I don't know how hard it is.
Yeah, same.
But I'm just saying if you do this to your kid, don't be surprised if they never speak to you or resent you for the rest of your entire life.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
you did it to yourself.
yeah.
Like you may have thought it was a good thing for them, but I mean you didn't even try
Yeah.
to speak with them or you didn't try to do anything. You didn't actually try to hear them out. You just immediately thought that another adult is more believable than your own child.
One of the girls in one of these documentaries was sent away for drinking a Mike's Hard.
A Mike's hard.
Yes.
A lemonade?
Yes.
A lemonade with like what? Fucking 5% alcohol?
Yeah.
The fuck?
She's, she was good
we we
academically.
we had
And
concoctions back in the day, bro. We mixed a lot of drinks and alcohol together. It was not no Mike's Hard. It was like fucking
oh no, DJ, this was in the early 2000s.
yeah, I know, but
She was a good Christian girl, and so
I'm
she.
saying us.
Oh yeah, no, us.
We
Yeah, no, we were unhinged.
yeah,
Okay.
we mixed concoctions of
You
drinks.
know what's hilarious though?
Hmm.
Is our behavior was the behavior targeted,
Yeah.
but we were
Thank God I
being
didn't get sent.
teenagers. Like, let's be honest, we were just being teenagers.
Yeah.
Part of being a teenager is rebelling.
Mm-hmm. You get it out your system so that way you don't do it in your 20s when it's completely illegal and you can get sent to jail.
That is not to say that you should try big crimes. You can still go to jail for those as a
Yeah, you
teenager.
still can go to jail. I'm just saying, like, I got all of my partying. Like, I don't even really like to go to the clubs or anything like that anymore. I don't like doing any of that. I got all that out of my system by like 23.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of it. Don't act like you don't like going out to a fucking club, motherfucker. You lying ass bitch.
I don't anymore. I like going to brunch.
No, but like last year you were like,
I tried it
TJ,
a lot. I
we
tried
all
it
need to
a few
go out to the
times
club
last
together.
year, and it just every time I went out, I hated it.
Yeah, but
But also think about it. COVID was
it's so
during
expensive.
like the like my I had just turned 21 when COVID happened, like the year before.
Don't remind me how big of an age gap we have, please.
I
Please
was
don't remind me.
22 when the world shut down.
Yeah, I
So I
guess you
still
didn't have
had
the whole,
like
but you still had the party phase in college.
I didn't have city party, and that's what I wanted to try.
Okay, but you had frat parties, sorority parties, and then
Sororities didn't have
you went,
parties.
huh?
Sororities didn't have parties. We had
Uh,
kickbacks.
whatever. Fuck, shut up. And then you had fucking festivals. Motherfucker, festivals are worse than the parties and clubs, bro. What do you mean?
I went to a
You
lot of.
went through your party phase in college. Shut up.
I wanted to
Yeah.
try out like clubbing because I'd never been to a club, and I wanted to try out a club, and then the world shut
Clubs are
down.
not what all it's overhyped. Clubs are so overhyped.
They are.
Like honestly, a relaxing bar. I love a smoke lounge.
Well, that's why I like brunch. Okay, I'm gonna end the episode though, so
Okay, yeah, my bad.
because we keep talking. We could stay here and talk. I'm fine with that, but I gotta.
Yeah.
So this was the end of the troubled teen industry deep dive. I hope you found it informative. I hope that you help fight against this, and I hope you
Mhm.
help to push forward legislation for these industries. And if you are a survivor, I hope that you are doing a lot better. I yeah.
Yeah.